Professional wrestling is the one true sport. Other sports have their share of intense, dramatic moments, but nothing can compare with professional wrestling. Welcome to Wrestling History X, where three friends come together to talk about the stories behind the matches. I'm Matt.
I feel like Jerry Lawler's foot smells.
And I am Savio Shenga.
Star of the show.
Welcome to episode 155, King of the Ring 1995.
Guts.
And glory. Yeah.
Are we going to see some guts and glory in the show?
I don't know. I thought this was about royalty and stuff. What the hell is this guts and glory bullshit?
Somebody's going to put a crown on their head at some point.
Like, shouldn't it be something like royalty or something?
Oh, yeah.
You know? Like, the king gets crowned. That sounds like a better tagline for the show.
A golden glory or something like that.
Yeah, something.
New king for a new year?
Yeah.
Anything, really.
Maybe one day we're going to get like a Great American Bash. The royal treatment or something.
Guts and glory should be like a battle royal thing.
I mean, it feels like almost like a SummerSlam tagline.
Oh, yeah.
Thing.
Yeah.
And Lex isn't on the show, so, I mean, literally you say Guts and Glory, and that's immediately who I think of. It's Lex Luger. He is not on the show.
Yeah, old Glory.
Yep.
He's the American guy, the Lex Express.
Yeah.
I mean,
rest in peace.
I'm not going to lie, I think of Paul Roma. But, I mean, even though it wasn't Power and Glory, it's Guts and Glory, you know, whatever.
Hey, at least somebody was thinking about Paul Roma.
Yeah.
Someone. But this was the third annual King of the Ring pay-per-view produced by WWF. It took place on June 25th, 1995 at the Core State Spectrum in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Oh, my God.
With an attendance of 16,950 people and a buy rate of 150K.
Huh. I mean, a good turnout for Philly.
That is a good turnout for Philly. The buy rate, on the other hand...
Yeah.
Is that a good or a bad one?
I believe, if I remember correctly, In Your House did 320.
Yeah, I would say
this is going down.
Low.
Yeah, the buy rate for In Your House, which was the last WWF pay-per-view, 332,000.
So it's like over a 50% drop-off?
It was cheaper.
Oh, that's a good point, yeah.
So, I mean, that does probably make up some of that.
Yeah, but still 150.
Yeah.
That seems a little
we're
light.
We're here to find out if it was a better show or not.
Yeah.
But we are also here to find out what Shane brought us, because we're in Philly.
We're in Philly. Once again. Never in Philly.
No. So yeah, I'll make the joke.
Okay, yeah, we retired it, but it's full reign.
Yes, we are in Philly. Nobody knows the troubles I've seen or I feel or however the fuck that song goes. Because once I hear that we're going to Philly, then my brain just kind of starts to shut down because we're in Philly so often thanks to good old ECW.
Your brain turns into a cheesesteak and you take a
had
nap.
to try and follow suit and go to Philly to try and catch the wave of excitement from the hardcore fans by bringing them Guts and Glory, also known as King of the Ring. So yeah, we're in Philly, and typically I try and find something from the Philly or Pennsylvania area to showcase where the show is. But since we're here so often, I decided to mix it up and do something that has more of a play on the show name. Since it's King of the Ring, I figured I'd go for a royal drink, and I found one called the
For a King.
the Gold Royale. It is a very grand drink. It's a weird concoction of vanilla or whipped cream vodka, champagne, and Goldschlager. I did not get a whipped cream vodka. I got regular vodka and a whipped cream liqueur to mix in with this one. So it's a little sweeter. It has a really different taste to it, at least for me.
It's very like sweet and vanilla-y on the front,
it's
and then at the end,
it's like the sweetest drink I think I've ever had.
But then at the end, it's
and
like,
do
they have a vanilla Red Bull?
Oh my god, I
'Cause
hope not.
That's kind of what it makes me think of, the taste
I
of
don't
this.
drink Red Bulls, so I don't know.
I've never seen a vanilla Red Bull, but that'd be a bold
If there was
taste.
a cinnamon vanilla Red Bull, this is how it would taste.
The winter edition, like Red Bull.
But
But this one will get you.
It kind of
fucked up.
leaves the same taste in my mouth as watching the 1995 King of the Ring. So if shows were a drink, this could be very fitting.
So it's super sweet.
Sweet up front and kind of makes you like eye twitch at the end.
Yeah, it gives you that little moment. But it doesn't taste very good.
Okay, I'm glad it's not just me.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, I don't hate it. It's just super sweet.
It's not what you would call smooth either for how sweet it is. Because
No.
most stuff that's like really sweet, we're like, well, it doesn't really taste like booze, and then like
It's one of those that it should be probably just a shot, and that way it's just one and done and you're over with.
that's a good point.
Instead of being a sipping drink.
Yeah, I'd probably enjoy it more as a shot.
Yeah,
'Cause
that's a very good point. Be like, that wasn't so bad.
Yeah.
Plus, when you take a shot, you want to kind of be like a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got to be super sweet, so 20 minutes later it makes you want another one. So I guess this will work the same effect, that I'll just take a sip and then wait another 10 minutes, take another one, wait another 10 minutes, take another one.
So every 2 matches.
Shot for every drink.
Yeah.
Well, something that happened right around the same time as King of the Ring, Michael Jackson's 9th album, History, would be released earlier in the week, comprising of a greatest hits compilation and a full new recording containing hits such as Scream and You Are Not Alone.
Double disc. This was played a lot in my household. The disc was gold. You put it in the 5 CD changer and put it on shuffle, and me and my sister and our friends from the neighborhood would just like jump around and dance.
Yeah, I remember working at Blockbuster, and Blockbuster started selling music at the time, so we had Michael Jackson, the CD, and had to bring in a special security case for it.
What are
Oh, yeah.
CDs, old man?
But I hear they're coming back, honestly.
Are they?
Yeah, there's bands like, more...
Oh, they're getting that retro feel,
like
everybody who did vinyl.
Exactly. But I never thought that would be a thing, but supposedly
Some of them
it's on
even
its way.
Even with tapes.
Yeah.
Right.
I think a lot of the reason is because vinyl's
You want to win
gotten...
my heart?
Vinyl's so expensive right
Give me
now.
give me
Yeah,
an
it's gotten
eight-track.
really big, so people are putting out CDs just because all the record plants are super backed up because you
Because of
need
Adele.
way more copies of Adele.
Yeah.
And then
It's
legitimately
It's legitimately the reason
yeah.
why
Yeah.
vinyl,
Like Adele,
vinyl records are backed up. because
Adele
of
and
the
like
Adele
probably
album.
Taylor Swift from the year before, but like it's been that way. So like
Damn.
there's bands where they're like, okay, well, while you have to wait for a vinyl release, we'll at least put out a CD release if you want a physical copy of it. For like smaller.
Well, that's the thing I've
more
never understood.
independent.
We
bands.
have this high technology. Why can't they make a CD that sounds like a vinyl?
I mean, the thing with vinyl is every setup is different, so like it always kind of sounds different.
You throw the pops and scratches on there.
Oh, yeah,
give
you
me a
just, like-
recording of that. I'll be happy.
Like the little filter.
I don't need the actual
You
thing.
just want
You just
white
want-
noise with pops and scratches?
No, like just
with the
give me an
music,
album.
Yeah, right. It's kind of like when you watch a
Oh,
movie.
it was a joke.
Yeah.
Like the old school days of recording a
You want to have to turn the wheel like you did
a
when you were young?
VHS tape onto a DVD.
Oh,
Give
yeah.
me a recording of a record player onto a CD.
You want the version of like the movie Grindhouse where they just added all the it was probably
The
shot
scratches
digitally,
and
so they added
everything. Yeah.
all the stuff that like all the dust and pops from what would happen to film when it got played over and over again.
Exactly.
Yeah, I watched Mank the other day, and like in the corner, there every once in a while there'd be a burn.
Oh
in
yeah,
the
for
corner.
like,
I'm
for when they're
"You
changing the
I'm
reels.
like, you filmed this digitally, David Fincher.
I'm sure he did. Yeah, he just wanted to trick. I guess his dad was probably already dead, but he was like, my dad would have wanted to see it shot on film because he only made that movie because his dad wrote it.
Oh, Michael Jackson.
But
Screams,
that's my
yeah.
jam. I love that
Oh, yeah,
song
Screams
and
is
that
great.
video.
That video,
Him and Janet.
Yeah.
I think that's actually my favorite Janet Jackson song, which is kind of sad because
It's a really good
I'm
song.
not a huge Janet Jackson fan.
I'm a big Janet Jackson fan. I wouldn't ever pay to go see her live because I'm one of those that I want to hear people sing and perform in front of me. I don't pay just to watch you dance unless I'm going to a dance show.
Yeah.
And
I'll stay home and watch Poetic Justice.
exactly. I love Janet Jackson, but I want to actually, if I'm watching a performer, I want to watch them perform, especially if they're a singer. I don't want to just have them lip sync in front of me.
You Are Not Alone. Isn't that the video that's like super washed out? It's like just the lens is covered in Vaseline, and they're just like both like basically like naked.
Yeah.
And like it looks like a really crummy version of like a set from the movie The Cell. It's very bizarre.
Yes. That's where like one of the first ones where he was showing off his new short haircut.
Oh yeah, he had the Ric Flair.
Yes.
You know, when Ric Flair does the butt cut,
yes.
which I always called it, where you parted in the middle but like cut short, like very Jonathan Taylor Thomas, or the older brother too, whatever his name is, from Home Improvement.
Something.
Yeah.
I forget what his real name was.
But you remember, yeah.
I can't remember.
I only like the episodes where the youngest son goes goth.
For somebody who doesn't like Tim Allen, you sure do bring up Home Improvement a lot.
I mean, it was on TV all the time, and it was never good, but everybody watched it.
Well, let's move off to King of the Ring.
Let's do it.
Where we get Vince narration over some aerial footage of Philadelphia from the WWF blimp.
Ooh.
It was a real blimp. I'm used to like the Stridex blimp, and I was like, I would love to take a ride in a blimp.
That'll make an appearance later.
Oh, yeah.
The narration basically says, "Who will be the King of the Ring?"
Not who you think.
And then the logo explodes onto the screen. And then Stephanie Wyand introduces us to a Coliseum video exclusive. Ooh. So which leads us right into our first match. Irwin R. Schyster with $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase versus Savio Vega with Razor Ramon in a King of the Ring qualifying match.
It was the first time we've seen Savio in an actual match since him showing up for the first time on the last pay-per-view.
That's right. So this match was actually on the free-for-all before the pay-per-view began. So it literally happened right before the pay-per-view went on.
Yeah, like dark match probably isn't the right way to put it. It's a pre-show.
It was like how they used to have like the channel where you would go to like order the pay-per-views from.
Mm-hmm.
They would show the free-for-alls on it to try and get people to entice them.
Order now.
Yeah, exactly.
Your pre-show, but Coliseum has our back.
Back in the day.
I hit the wrong button a couple times on purpose. So the reason for this match was that Razor Ramon had been injured. Not really, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
so I got some questions about this show, but we'll get to them later.
He was kayfabe injured.
Okay.
So they needed another qualifying match to fill in the bracket. So these two men are
IRS. He's the gatekeeper. Yeah, he's like the right hand. He's just been around in the gimmick for longer than I ever remembered or realized, honestly.
So the two men start matching up with IRS giving several strikes to begin, only for Vega to small package Schyster for a 2 count. Savio starts running the ropes and hits a sunset flip for a near fall, followed by another roll up for a 2 count after IRS misses a charge into a corner. Vega grabs a headlock with Schyster rolling him over for multiple 2 counts until Savio blocks a hip toss to deliver one of his own, followed by a drop kick for a near fall. Something then happens to send Savio out to the floor while Vince introduces the Spanish commentary team.
Perfect timing.
Exactly. Like, way to miss a move. Back in the ring, IRS hits a body slam and heads up top, coming off with a knee, only for Vega to get a foot up into the jaw of Schyster. Savio then hits a snap suplex for a 2 count, goes for a big boot, only for IRS to roll out of the ring to avoid. Vega then follows after to toss him back into the ring, where Schyster whips Savio into the ropes, coming back with a spinning wheel kick for the pin and the win.
So if it was a count out, would have they both been disqualified?
Eliminated.
Okay. Yep. I was just double checking because I was like, he's just going to take a powder. He's like, I'm going to go to the back.
So Savio Vega advances to the quarterfinals.
Who'd have thunk it? I hope IRS is still happy and healthy and has a decent sized bank account. wherever he is.
Hopefully he's doing all right.
Hopefully the tax man didn't come for it.
True.
Hopefully not. It'd be really funny if he was one of those guys that like went off the grid and was like living in the woods, but he was IRS for like a full decade.
So I think it'd be funnier if it was like he ended up with the DiBiase curse, where you know, the IRS and everybody was out for him for money that his sons had laundered or whatever.
Oh, I forgot about old Teddy and his troubles. But I mean, he got some NXT money before it went to complete shit.
It's true. So we then get the logo of King of the Ring, where Vince welcomes us to the show.
Great logo.
Mm-hmm.
Doc Hendricks is back on commentary. We'll see if that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And then they preview the matches of the show.
Kiss my foot.
We're shown footage of how Yokozuna qualified for the King of the Ring. He was in a match with Lex Luger when Fuji would attack Lex's flag bearer, causing Luger to roll out to check on him, which allowed Zuna to smash him headfirst into a ring post and be counted out.
I know, I mean,
on A, man.
Like, there goes, yeah. Wouldn't you? I would have loved to see Lex here. Wouldn't that have been cool?
Maybe.
In hindsight?
In hindsight, yeah.
On a show called Guts and Glory?
Sure. Absolutely.
once.
I think, is he done with the company?
Who?
Lex.
Nah, he's still around.
He's just
for
not.
Maybe a couple
bit
more
more.
months.
Yeah, he's been a bit of a butthole, so, you know, he obviously didn't get the push they
He's got another cup of
immediately-
coffee or two in him.
Yeah, immediately they wanted out of him.
Did anybody recognize Lex's flag bearer?
I did not. I remember telling myself I needed to go back and look, and then I didn't end up going back.
I didn't notice at all. No, who was that?
It was one Scotty Riggs, who we'll see
Okay.
in WCW very soon.
A future American male.
That's right.
A future flock member or something like that.
Probably.
You know who I did see? Hat Guy.
Oh.
That guy's here.
That guy's definitely in the front row.
He is in the same spot he is at every ECW show.
Is he the guy that's wearing like the full cowboy getup with the big old cowboy hat? Or
No,
is
he's the
this
guy. He
different?
wears like the I don't know what you call it, maybe like a Panama type
Yeah,
hat and like a
Panama
Hawaiian
hat.
shirt.
Okay.
He's like in the front of like almost every ECW show that's probably worth
Yeah,
watching.
ECW shows, there's sign guy, and then hat
Hat
guy's
guy.
like right next to him on the right. At this show, like hat guy's like right behind him.
Yeah, Hat Guy's totally buds because there's been, I think, wrestlers will react to him more often and stuff just because they probably know the guy because he's been there every single time.
We then go to the back, and Todd Pettengill is there with Savio Vega and Razor Ramon. And Vega says it's hard, but he's going to try and win. And we head straight to our second match.
Cool, Savio Vega. It's hard, but I'm gonna try.
That's right.
I'd like to think that you would be trying.
That second match is Yokozuna with Jim Cornette and Mr. Fuji versus Savio Vega with Razor Ramon in a King of the Ring quarterfinals match. So as the entrance to get to the ring is like two guys sliding doors open.
Yeah, it's just in like full, like
Yes.
cool gladiator regalia.
Yes, when it comes to the
Purple and gold.
the door
Purple.
opening this year, they
I
found
know
the
you
most
know who
extreme
it is.
openers that they could.
Did you know who it was?
I have no idea who it was. I just saw they're pretty covered. They got like helmets on and everything.
No,
They don't?
They were just in purple and gold.
yeah,
garb.
like yeah.
One was
All right.
blonde, one was brown headed.
Brunette. Yeah. One of them might be.
They get kind of extreme.
Yes.
Was it?
Yes.
Was it Public Enemy? No, these guys weren't that fat.
No.
Delete.
Oh,
Delete!
It was the Hardy Brothers
It was the
Hardy
in
Brothers.
'95.
Yeah.
Wow, because they don't show up until like '97, '98, right?
Something like that. I mean, they're
Yeah.
basically jobbers at this point. They
Oh, I didn't know that they were jobbing this early. That's
I want to say
pretty cool.
Jeff was actually too young to be participating
Like,
in
probably.
WWF at this time.
Yeah,
So,
they were still running their backyard fed at this point.
yeah, they were kings of the trampoline.
Yeah. And during these quarterfinal matches, there is a 15-minute time limit, and you must win to advance. So that's for all the quarterfinal matches.
that's right. Both feet must touch the ground. Or wait, wrong show.
Both
Wrong
shou-
road
yeah,
show.
shoulders must be pinned for,
Yeah.
or I guess
Well,
you
you
could
can submit
submit
it.
too. Yeah, we don't see a whole lot of submission these days.
Unless Bret Hart's in the match, not really.
Yeah,
So Yoko uses his power early on with a shoulder tackle, chops, and a back elbow before missing an elbow drop, allowing Vega to get a 10 count of turnbuckle smashes to Zuna's head. Savio goes for a spinning wheel kick, but Yokozuna ducks and begins to work over Vega in the corner, setting him up for the bonsai drop. Vince wonders where Owen Hart is, as Cornette messes with Hat Guy, before we see that Owen is on the hotline in the back.
Also,
why isn't he at the ring with his tag team partner?
Yep.
Also, why isn't he in the fucking King of the Ring? He
Defending his title.
He won last year, and we've got Savio Vega and a even larger Yokozuna, as always.
Biggest yet.
Yep.
I mean, we say that until he's
Every
gone.
time.
Well, I want to say they make a comment at some point that he is officially the biggest wrestler to ever participate in WWF, officially bigger than Haystacks Calhoun or something like that, because he's at 620-something pounds.
Jesus.
Good Lord.
Yep.
I would.
Remember when he started and he was like 400 and something, and it's like, wow, we've never seen anybody that big.
He's like two.
Hold my beer. Wait, no, let me have it back.
I wonder what his. You know, would have been great if we could have arranged it. Time wise, is a hot dog or pie eating contest with Yokozuna and Andre. Because Andre could pack down the beer for sure, but I'm sure he could eat just as well. Or like a pizza eating contest.
So Savio rolls out of the corner. So Yoko climbs back down the ropes and delivers headbutts, choking him on those ropes before applying a
Trap hold. Nothing like
way.
a trap hold on a guy with very average traps.
After a couple of minutes, the crowd begins to fire up Vega, but he misses a charge and Zuna just tosses Savio over the ropes to the floor. What, no bell?
No bell.
No disqualification?
This isn't Bill Watts territory.
wrong-
This
wrong
is
show.
it's
Okay.
95,
Okay, good.
not 85.
Sorry.
But yeah, it's crazy that I know Yokozuna's a big bad heel, but cheers for Savio Vega. They must have really been putting him over between the last month and this month.
Hey, he
Well,
said he's
he has
gonna.
Razor Ramon in his corner.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's obviously very helpful.
He's out there giving it a try, man.
Yep.
Just
Spin.
like he said he was gonna do.
What does he do? Punches, hip toss, block,
Spinning wheel kick.
Spinning wheel kick. The spinning wheel kick doesn't always look bad.
It doesn't always look good, but it
It
doesn't,
doesn't always look bad. Yeah.
Back in the ring, Vega tries some strikes, only for Yokozuna to come back with an uppercut and a body slam before trying for the leg drop, which Savio avoids. The crowd breaks into a USA chant, which Corny's mad about, as Vega hits several clotheslines to stagger Yoko, allowing Savio to hit the spinning heel kick.
Aren't they both Puerto Rican?
Well, Savio's Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
Yoko's
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hawaiian.
where's he from? Okay.
And then, or Japanese.
Japanese.
He's actually
Kayfabe-
Hawaiian,
kayfabe Japanese, sorry,
Yeah,
guys, sorry.
yeah.
Cornette jumps on the apron, only to be knocked down by Vega, when Owen Hart runs out to attack Razor out on the floor,
There he
There.
is.
going after his hurt ribs. Savio leaves the ring to help his friend, so Zuna rolls out too, for them to brawl around ringside until Vega sends Yokozuna into a ring post.
Uh-oh.
Posted.
Savio then rolls back into the ring as the bell rings for
Hey.
the count out victory.
Like deja vu.
No one's willing to lay down to Savio Vega.
Right.
Understandable. I mean, it's Yokozuna.
Well, no, that's how Yokozuna qualified
Yeah.
for the
He-
tournament, doing it to Luger.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, to Luger.
Pushed Luger
I
into
mean,
the
yeah,
ring
of course,
post,
Luger's
then
not going to lay
snuck
down
in
to him
just in
either.
time.
We can't do that to him. Savio Vega can take the pin, but it's like, well, we put him up with Razor, so it's like it's too early for that.
That's right.
So Savio Vega moves on to the semifinals. We then go to the locker room with Jerry the King Lawler, and he shows us his foot and dirty sock.
I mean, great makeup work. It is very gross to look at. I also have like a mild foot phobia. I'm like, I don't need to see this.
He then cuts a promo about how Bret Hart is going to kiss his sneaking royal feet. And then we go to footage of how the Roadie qualified over Doink the Clown, followed by footage of Bob Holly defeating Mantar to qualify.
Good on you, Spark Plug. I believe it's Doc Hendricks who says that he should be arrested for sock abuse. It's not quite Jesse or Bobby, but, it's not nothing.
No.
So we go to our third match. The Roadie with Double J Jeff Jarrett versus Bob, Spark Plug, Holly in a King of the Ring quarterfinal match.
I know, and I'm already, the Roadie? We already had to deal with Vega? Why can't Jeff Jarrett be in the King of the Ring? We don't have Owen.
Because he did not win his...
Yep, he didn't win.
Who did he lose it to?
Whatever you call it. I can't remember who it was. They showed him on there with somebody.
No Razor, no Owen, no Jarrett. I'm losing my mind here.
So the last time we saw Holly was at Royal Rumble 95, episode 141. Match gets going. Spark Plug hits a belly-to-belly suplex and a shoulder tackle for a 2 count, followed by a couple more quick near falls with small packages until the Roadie can escape to the floor to regroup.
And Bob is explosive and great. And I'm excited to see him.
Full spark.
Spark plug, yes. And this is, I guess, the first singles match we've seen him in, because we just saw him in the Rumble previously, right?
And we saw him in a tag match.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Back in, the Roadie is taken down by a hip toss and a body slam, but then Holly goes for a victory roll, only for the Roadie to catch him and powerbomb him down to the mat. Roadie starts whipping Spark Plug around the ring before delivering some elbow drops and into a chin lock. But Holly fires up with some shots to the gut.
He sparks up.
Genius. Before rolling up the Roadie for a 2 count. But Spark Plug is taken down by a clothesline and placed back in a chin lock.
Yay.
The Roadie then goes for a pile driver, only for Holly to counter with a back body drop, following up with a head scissors takedown. Spark Plug stays on the attack with right hands and a power slam for a 2 count.
I love he has just that beautiful yellow and blue WWF logo on his ass.
He's a company man.
He's a company man.
The two men begin to battle on the turnbuckle until Holly punches Roadie down to the mat. Spark Plug then flies off the top rope, only to get a boot up to the jaw.
Didn't we just see that recently?
Yeah, Savio did it.
I know.
Followed by the Roadie rolling on top of him for the pin and the win. But it sure looked like Holly got his shoulder up.
I think I got scared. I was like, I know he doesn't get fired, but he probably got like a little yell. I mean, the guy is obviously the better wrestler. He did there was 10 pin attempts that he put on Roadie, and he just lost to a guy that has one move, and it's a chin lock. Yeah, which is absurd and upsetting when he could have just beat Roadie because nobody cares. It's not beating Jeff Jarrett.
Yep.
Pretty upsetting, and I've just remembered. Somewhere in the back of my closet, I have a Spark Plug Holly t-shirt. Because it's a cool t-shirt. It looks like a NASCAR shirt.
Oh yeah, that's why he had WWF on his ass there.
Uh-huh.
He was a NASCAR driver, so they were his sponsor.
His sponsor.
Yeah. We go to the back, and Pettengill is there with Shawn Michaels.
Now we're talking.
There we go.
Todd sends us the footage of the Heartbreak Kid beating King Kong Bundy to qualify. And Shawn says no man is big enough to withstand the super kick. We then get footage of Kama qualifying when he beat Duke the Dumpster Droese.
I'm
thankful that the two people
Duke
won.
the Dumpster Grocery, or Mike the Dumpster Grocery. That should have been my name.
There's always next time.
Yeah, when Duke the Dumpster shows back up. Yeah, but I love that Shawn says being big don't make you good, and it's like, hell yeah, because he's throwing shade to where the big boys play.
That's
where
right.
the big boys have been disappointing us.
Remember when it took Hogan forever to beat Bundy?
Mm-hmm. Shawn's got
Shawn
it.
Michaels did that in a preliminary match.
A little bit of sweet chin music.
So we go to our fourth match. Kama, the Supreme Fighting Machine, with $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase, versus the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, in a King of the Ring quarterfinal match.
I love Shawn's incredible King of the Ring promotional hat he's just wearing backwards. It's a fun look.
So we are told that Kama destroyed a wreath meant for the Undertaker before we are shown two very creepy looking individuals in the crowd, which I found were called creatures of the night.
I just thought they were fans doing cosplay, and they were like, "Oh, we're going to incorporate you."
No, I want to say that they had made appearances like on Raw in the crowd for.
Are they kind of like, it's like, oh, like vampires have like disciples and stuff? Is it
I'm
like
trying to
kind of
remember
that
the
vibe?
full storyline that they did on.
Obviously,
on
didn't
that,
take.
but yeah.
They look kind of cool. I mean, you know, they just look like.
The one guy kind of looked like Schyster's little brother.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe these were the, the seedlings for what will become the Ministry of Darkness or something. Yeah.
Also,
his first little cult followers.
What's with a wreath for the Undertaker? Who's giving the Undertaker gifts? And a wreath, isn't that like a Christmas thing?
I mean, it was around Father's Day, so maybe
Father's Day wreath.
I mean, it was a black
Heard of that
and
before?
white wreath.
yeah. I mean,
Memorial Day.
yeah,
maybe?
it's just like we need a MacGuffin. It'll be a wreath.
Kama also has a gold necklace on.
Hey.
I wonder where he got the gold from. Because he said he was going to melt
down the urn.
Oh, that's
Make
fun.
some jewelry for them.
Yeah, he
hoes.
turned it into
Wait,
Cuban
no, He
links.
doesn't have hose yet. Yet.
He's got a hose. They're just not part of the gimmick. We know Kama parties.
So the two men trade wrist locks, with Kama attempting a back suplex, only for Michaels to flip out and throw some jabs. Kama then charges at Heartbreak Kid in the corner, but Shawn leaps up and over him to get some more jabs in.
Good stuff.
Michaels is sent to the ropes, where Kama tosses HBK over the ropes, but Shawn skins the cat, followed by back body dropping Kama out to the floor.
And don't forget to pose to the hard cam. You beautiful heel.
Who's posing?
Oh, Shawn, after...
He's not a heel. He's a face.
I guess he is. He's still a heel in my heart.
Kama then comes back into the ring, starts to work the ribs with kicks, before hitting a clothesline to send Michaels out to the floor, following out to drive him into the ring post, back first. Back in the ring, Kama stays on the ribs with kicks, punches, and hard Irish whips into turnbuckles, as Vince points out that Joe Frazier's in the crowd.
Oh, hey, Joe Frazier. I watched your son on a show this summer.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
Yep.
he was on Big Brother this last year.
Oh, Big
I
D.
mean, not everybody can be Joe Frazier. Sometimes you just have to be his son and on Big Brother.
Yep, and he's trying to make the most of just that.
Yeah. Maybe Joe didn't leave a good enough inheritance.
He's still... Is he alive? I'm trying to remember.
I don't think he is.
Okay. I
Yeah,
couldn't
I mean,
remember.
if not, he's very old.
That's how big of a fan of his son I was. I wanted him kicked off right away.
Kama goes for a Canadian backbreaker hold, but HBK uses the ropes to flip over him, then back body drops the Supreme Fight Machine into a jackknife pin for a 2 count. Kama then sends Shawn to the corner for a flare flip, falling out to the floor, where the $1 Million Man gets some cheap shots in. Michaels makes it back into the ring just in time, where Kama keeps working the ribs, this time with a backbreaker across his knee multiple times, before just stretching him as well.
Love the stretch.
Could have let it gone a little bit not as long, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
The match or the stretch?
The stretch.
Oh, the stretch, yeah, for sure. I mean, Kama is not Shawn Michaels. So you can tell by that, very sloppy hip toss in the beginning of the match, where I was like, ooh.
Heartbreak Kid breaks free with some right hands, but Kama doesn't let up, charging into a corner. But Michaels avoids and delivers a desperation springboard forearm that has both men down. Kama is back to his feet first, and he goes for an elbow drop, only for Shawn to move and begin to fire up, as we are told there are 2 minutes remaining.
You know what that could mean.
Heartbreak Kid with right hands, a leaping clothesline, goes up top for a double axe handle for a 2 count. 1 minute remains as Michaels gets a 10 count of punches in the corner before hitting a crossbody that Kama rolls through on for a near fall. Inside cradle by Shawn for 2 with 15 seconds left, then goes for a sunset flip, but time has run out as the count is being made. So we have a time limit draw, so neither man advances.
So, has anybody been pinned?
Not yet? Or wait, was IRS pinned?
No, I Don't.
Yes. I want to say we said for the pin and the win.
Did we?
Sparkplug, I think, was pinned.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. It just seems like...
Oh, but Holly got his shoulder up, so that was why it was...
Yeah. I do love that... I mean, obviously, we need a bye, but, like, do we need Shawn Michaels to be in the match where we get a double DQ? I would say, based on this show, no, we need another Shawn Michaels match. But I do love Shawn Michaels doing the boxing stuff. He does like some weird juke boxing stuff in the beginning of the match, and he calls it back later, and it's very fun, and he does it well. It doesn't look goofy. Honestly, it looks better than Ronda Rousey's rabbit punches here in this year of 2022, and she is a actual trained fighter.
Post-match, HBK isn't happy about the time limit draw.
Of course not.
As we can see him say bullshit on screen.
Yep, I feel you, brother.
Followed by Kama attacking from behind, only for Michaels to slide under him and hit a super kick to clear the ring.
You know what I loved about the end of this was Shawn Michaels. He's got the timing. Like he knows like he's got an incredible internal clock, like most great wrestlers do. But you can see him pull Kama's trunks to basically nail the timing, where he's like, yeah, like yanks hard, be like, this is like you can come down now at the end of that match. So it's nice when you notice little things like that, where you're like, yeah, there's a reason Shawn Michaels is Shawn Michaels.
Always a professional. Well, not always.
Not always, yeah. A real kind of piece of shit in his younger days, but
that's what made him so great.
Yeah, one of the greatest wrestling entertainers of all time.
Hey guys, the Stridex indoor airship is back.
Ooh.
You think they dropped pads?
Mini blimp.
Like the little things with like the tiny parachutes, like
packs of
the parachute, remember the Army Men parachutes? But they're dropping because they had those little cylinder things where it's like what like pomade comes in now, but it'd be like the Stridex pads, which were total bullshit because a Stridex pad was just a pad filled with like alcohol.
Yeah,
it's like it was just a way to sell like rubbing alcohol to teenagers.
You ever want to feel
that's why they don't make them anymore.
Try and burn your face off with a household product.
Yeah, instead of 70% alcohol, it was probably 80% alcohol.
You put something on something raw, you're screaming.
Yeah,
I remember those Stridex, and what was the other one?
Stridex really made a lot of money off of complete bullshit. It's like it's just rubbing alcohol and like
what
makeup
was the
pads.
other big? Was it Oxy?
Oxy, yeah, there was. Yeah. Maybe they added some like vitamin E to that one, so it didn't burn your skin up so bad.
They added baking soda, so it gave you that little bubbly feeling or something.
Maybe.
Or peroxide, not baking soda.
Yeah.
Vincent sends us to a video package where we see Mabel defeating Adam Bomb at In Your House to qualify for the King of the Ring.
Remember when Adam Bomb was kind of over in like a show recently?
No.
I feel like he got cheered. I don't know.
Well, yeah, he became a face because he wasn't working as a heel.
Yeah.
So they figured, let's try this, and it had kind of the same effect.
The poof of smoke that looked like an atomic weapon was a nice touch. They tried.
We then see the Undertaker tombstoning Double J to earn his way into the tournament.
There we go. That's why there wasn't a Double J in this one, because Taker took him out.
Couldn't have. Taker doesn't need to do anything except for be Undertaker. Let Jeff Jarrett beat somebody else.
Just think, you could have had,
Taker is King of the Ring, takes away all of King of the Dead. Oh, that'd be cool if you like just rejected it and was like, I'm King of the Dead.
King Taker.
It doesn't say anything. Old Percy Pringle takes care of it all for us.
Sir Percy Pringle.
I'm sorry.
Vincent sends us to another video package where we see Bob Backlund out and about in the city of Philadelphia. Several fans around him have Mr. Backlund for President signs as Bob begins to run down the city of brotherly love.
It's like a Man on the Street segment, but with Bob Backlund, and I kind of love it. Just a little bit. It's fun.
Backlund even grabs a cheesesteak, but he says it needs a carrot in it.
Oh yeah, he's doing like some like conservative parenting type of vibe here, where he's like, "This is bad for you. These youths don't know what they're doing. You need to eat a vegetable." It's good stuff.
I was worried that Shane was going to get us a cheesesteak
with a carrot in it,
and then just put a whole bunch of carrot in it.
Yeah, just like put aligns it with baby carrots.
No.
I was worried.
We're cheesesteaked out, I'd say.
I'm Phillied out, trust me.
So this video had some weird editing where you just have Bob staring at the camera waiting for his cue many times.
Whoever normally does the packages, maybe like Pritchard was fired this week or something. Cornette didn't help with this one.
No, I mean, that was the Backlund character at the time, though. He's crazy. He's unpredictable. He's running for president.
He is. I think that he is very fun.
Yes. So that was his demented, deranged, crazy man.
Yeah.
I'll go when I'm good and ready, damn it.
Mm-hmm.
Vince then gets the Spanish and French commentators' opinions on different subjects, with them answering in their native tongues that Vince just laughs at because no one understands what they're saying.
Also, Vince McMahon thinks that it's funny that people speak other languages because Vince McMahon is a very childish human.
But don't you speak with a southern accent, damn it.
No, that's a different language to him. He thinks that's just as funny.
So we go to our fifth match. Mabel with Mo versus The Undertaker with Paul Bearer in a King of the Ring quarterfinals match. And Stephanie Wyon stops Mabel on his way to the ring to ask him about what his feelings are on this match.
He calls her pretty.
And he says, I'm going to win and go straight to the finals. Because basically the winner of this match was supposed to face the winner of the Shawn Kama match. So whoever wins this match gets a bye to the finals.
Oh, nice. You know what? I heard something about, is it Mo or Oscar? Mo wrestled or Oscar wrestled?
Mo wrestled.
Mo was his tag team partner.
Yeah, I think Oscar basically got his...
Was the hype man.
Yeah, he got his job by basically cornering one of... He was a wrestling fan and just rapped at them and they're like, oh yeah, you got a job. But honestly, it didn't last very long, but I heard that recently somewhere and was like, oh, that's kind of neat. Good for him. He's no PN News in my book.
Nobody ever will be.
And nobody was for very long.
John Cena's going to try eventually.
So the two men stare each other down. When the bell rings, Taker opens with right hands before delivering multiple clotheslines that knock down Mabel, followed by Old School. The dead man starts choking in the corner, only for Mabel to tackle him to take him down to the mat.
I like that Undertaker, black and purple. We're still in the black and purple era, but Mabel's wearing black, purple, and gold. And it's like, yeah. I think Taker would be like, you need a different color scheme, sir.
No, that's what makes them pair so lovely in the ring.
Oh, yeah. Well, somebody looks like a pair.
Mabel then follows up with a clothesline to send Undertaker to the floor. Taker responds with a neck breaker across the top rope, but when he's trying to climb into the ring, Mabel hits a double chop that trips up the dead man, causing him to get tied up in the ropes.
Oh my god. Well, you know Taker, if he gets 360 to the floor, he lands on his feet. Don't even bother. Mm-hmm. A dead man and a cat always land on their feet.
And this allows Mabel to get in some cheap shots. Once untangled, Undertaker fires up with right hands and chokes inside the ring when Mo jumps on the apron to cause a distraction, allowing Mabel to hit a belly-to-belly suplex. Mabel then sits down on Taker's back and applies a chinlock as the crowd begins to chant, "Rest in peace.
Rest in peace."
Which gets Bearer very excited.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's like, how do you do it without it? It's like, can anybody quite do it? Everybody can do the impersonation, and everybody knows exactly what it is, but they can't quite do it. It's kind of like Christopher Walken. Like, everybody can do Christopher Walken, but nobody actually sounds like Christopher Walken.
Yeah. It's like Sarah McLachlan. You can sing her songs, but you're not going to sound like her.
Nobody else does.
No.
She sounds like she's deaf in one ear.
She's just in the arms of an angel.
You know,
because she's Canadian.
You know what's funny about that song? Oh, I guess, yeah, I bet Alanis could probably do a decent Sarah McLachlan.
Probably.
That song is about somebody, like, renting a hotel and killing themselves in it, in the arms of an angel, but then the song was famous for being used for, like, adopting a pet. And I just think it's weird, because people are always, you think of that song and you think of, like, dogs with, like, sores on them and you get sad, and then it's like, oh, the real...
It's known for adopt a pet.
Yeah. Yeah, the real song is...
We're going to kill them.
The song is about somebody, like, coming to terms with being okay with killing themselves, which is... I mean, they're both terrible things, but one's a little bit more horrific and relatable.
Mabel throws the dead man out to the floor and continues his attack, sending him into the steel steps, also allowing Mo to get in some cheap shots of his own. Back in the ring, Mabel delivers a vertical suplex and a body slam for a 2 count, then tries for a splash in the corner, only for Undertaker to get a boot up, followed by a clothesline to take the big man down.
I love that Mabel's too big for people to, like, kick out in any, like, real noticeable way. The camera can't even catch the shoulder. She's like, oh, we believe you.
Yep.
Mabel is sent to the ropes where Taker telegraphs his move, allowing the big man to connect with a pile driver for a near fall.
I know, pile driving Mabel. It's pretty wild.
It's pile driving Taker.
Yeah. Oh, pile driving Taker.
Yeah.
Taker's being very nice, I guess.
The dead man is sent to the ropes, only for him to bump heads with Mabel on his way back to cause the double KO. Mabel's back to his feet first, tries for an elbow drop, but the Undertaker avoids, allowing him to take control with a running splash in the corner.
Oh, first he does the hair flip and the eye roll, though, to let us know. That's his way of sparking up.
Taker goes for another Irish whip, but Mabel counters to send the dead man to the original corner, where the ref is smashed against the turnbuckle.
Ref bump. You know that we can't be sending Mabel into the ref.
No.
We cannot be doing that.
The Undertaker hits the leaping clothesline and a chokeslam before punching Mo off the apron and makes the cover. But the ref is still out. No. Kama runs down and kicks Taker in the back, allowing Mabel to hit a leg drop while Mo has woken up the ref to see the cover for the pin and the win. Post-match, Kama is celebrating his attack in the ring when the dead man sits up, causing the Supreme Fighting Machine to scamper to the back, with the Undertaker stalking after him.
I think it's funny because it's like, oh, are Kama and Mabel... maybe they've been interacting at this point, but Kama's just...
I think so.
It's more Kama and Undertaker.
Kama getting his...
Kama's part of the $1 Million Corporation, and they've been feuding with Taker for months.
Sure, but it's just funny because it's like, oh, Undertaker will take the pin if it gives Kama some light, because we know that they're like lifelong buds. They're like really close friends. So it's like, that's cute that Taker was like, fine, as long as if we can put a spotlight on my poker pal. What was their like little gang called? Their group? It's like, I wanted to say like RKO, but obviously it's not that. But it's something like that. It's like BTS, which is not the same thing either. But you know what I mean. They were like, they have their own clique of
BSK
the Undertaker
or something.
Yeah,
like that.
I think it's BSK, which I don't know what it stands for. I don't remember.
Are you sure that's not the killer from Kansas?
That's BTK.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this was like the...
It's like their biker gang, like their...
Bone Street Crew or something like that.
They like motorcycles and like drinking whiskey and going to titty clubs and playing poker.
Yeah,
but it's like, you know, the Undertaker and his buddies. It's kind of like the clique, except for they were never that big of a pain in the ass. They were just good friends behind the scenes. So it was nice to see them.
The Bone Street Crew.
Bone Street Crew.
Consisting of Undertaker, Henry O. Godwin, Crush, Midian, Mr. Fuji, Paul Bearer, The Godfather, Rikishi, Savio Vega, The Undertaker, and Yokozuna.
For $19.99, you can get a Bone BS.
So what you're saying is that crew didn't play the politics as well as the clique did.
No, not at all.
Yeah, this was the anti-clique.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I was gonna make a joke about them having like a loot crate. It was all Blue Lives Matter stuff.
Just stayed in the freaking mid card.
Yeah, except for Undertaker.
Yeah.
But I mean, maybe they just all liked cops a lot.
Yeah.
And that was why they got along so well.
We then get another video package for the WWF Hall of Fame. And there were 7 new inductees this year. Ernie Ladd, Pedro Morales, the Grand Wizard, Antonio Roca, the Fabulous Moolah, George the Animal Steel, and Ivan Putski. Pretty good class.
Yeah, there's some very cute footage of like Scott Hall like being nice to a kid in a wheelchair, and like there's some cute some cute footage here, followed up all by Operation Dumbo Drop.
No, it is not Operation Dumbo Drop.
Oh.
It was Larger Than Life.
Is Bill Murray in Operation Dumbo Drop?
No.
No. They made 2 elephant movies the same year. Because I saw both of them in the theater as a kid. Elephants were big in 95. But,
I don't remember who was in Operation Dumbo Drop.
I don't remember.
Jeff Bridges?
Was he? I saw both of them in the theater, so they're like the same movie to me. But yeah, Bill Murray on an elephant, obviously on set for the for
Bill
Larger Than
Murray
Life.
was good friends with George Animal Steel, and he sent a video in.
Challenge him, come out of retirement and face me and my tag team partner, Ty.
You know why they're friends? From Ed Wood.
Operation Dumbo Drop was Ray Liotta, Dennis Leary, and Danny Glover.
What was the second name?
Dennis Leary.
Dennis Leary
And
sucks. I hate Dennis Leary.
Larger Than Life movie, because if I just type Larger Than Life, it's probably going to bring up Backstreet Boys.
You know who needs a comeback, though? Danny Glover.
Bill Murray, Matthew McConaughey, Janine Garofalo, Jeremy Piven,
Oh, yeah, it's the same movie.
Linda Fiorentino.
We then go to the back, and Todd Pettingill's there with the Roadie and Jeff Jarrett. And Double J gives us the first Road Dog name call.
I caught that, for sure.
There we go.
It's like Road Dog. It's like, okay, he's been roadie for long enough. It's not a good name.
So we go to our 6th match. Savio Vega with Razor Ramon versus the Roadie with Double J Jeff Jarrett in a King of the Ring semifinal match.
I know we've seen it a bunch lately, but don't you just wish the roles were reversed here?
Yep. I mean, it feels like...
These are like the 2...
I've said it once already on this show, Chacamo Finane. It's like my flag boy and your flag boy are fighting each other. In the...
I'd rather just hear the song than see these 2 guys, because it's a nice tune. But Vega and Roadie have essentially the same skill set at this point in their careers, and it's not particularly strong.
Yeah.
So the 2 men trade punches until Savio delivers a hip toss and a clothesline to send the Roadie out to the floor. Back in the ring, Vega applies an armbar that Road Dogg attempts to escape with a body slam, only for it to be countered into a pin attempt for a 2 count. The Roadie with a knee to the gut, followed by a swinging neckbreaker for a near fall, then begins to work over Savio with right hands and a headbutt off the second rope for a 2 count. Road Dogg continues the punishment as the crowd is distracted by something out in the
arena.
As
Something
they
more
chant,
interesting than whatever this might be.
and they start chanting, "Throw him out! Throw him out!"
Somebody acting a fool.
I mean, it is Philadelphia.
It is Philadelphia.
It doesn't surprise me one bit.
It wasn't Hat Guy, but it was probably an ECW crowd alumni.
So the Roadie misses a second rope headbutt, allowing Vega to fire up with right hands, a back elbow, and a body slam for a near fall, followed by a big boot for a 2 count. Savio's whip attempt is reversed, sending him to the ropes, where Jarrett grabs his boot to trip him up, allowing Road Dogg to attack from behind. Double J then climbs up on the apron as Savio sends the Roadie to the ropes, only for the Road Dogg to slow himself, but Vega then hits a jumping knee to the back, causing them to bump into each other, allowing Savio to roll up the staggered Roadie for the pin and the win. Post-match, Vega is interviewed by the Spanish announcers. When Doc tries to translate, making very bad jokes such as, "He says he should quit now before Mabel kills him," or "he should go back to stealing hubcaps."
It's one of those things where, like, these jokes aren't that far off from what Bobby would say. They're just not delivered as well as Bobby Heenan delivers a joke. Because the thing is, Bobby delivers plenty of, like, bad, like, flat jokes, but he's Bobby Heenan. And that's kind of part of the deal.
So I'm not going to lie. This moment felt so surreal, like out of character, even for WWF, in the cartoonishness that they do, that like, but it still felt out of place. But it still might be the best thing on the show.
The
Doc trying to translate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
I thought you were talking about the match, and I was like,
No,
Matt?
no.
Did we see the only thing?
No.
Yeah,
No.
the only thing in this match that I saw that was good was at the beginning. Roadie got thrown out of the ring, and he kind of hits his head on the apron as he falls out, and he immediately sells it. And I thought that was very nice, and it looked good, and it was that. But outside of that, Savio Vega versus Roadie before he learns how to use the microphone.
Vince sends us to another video package where Bret Hart is talking about how bad he's had issues with Jerry Lawler. But tonight, the King will kiss my feet because he's gonna rip Lawler apart.
I mean, he's been talking shit for almost 12 months at this point.
Talking about his mama. Talking about
Nobody
his
talks
dad.
about Helen like that.
That's right.
So we go to our 7th match. Jerry, the King Lawler, versus Bret, the Hitman Hart, in a Kiss My Feet match.
Kiss my feet.
First of its kind, I believe.
Hopefully the last. Stephanie Wyon catches up with the King on his entrance, and he says Bret is going to know what it's like to kiss his royal feet.
Probably not so hot. There is, if you are trigger warning. If you are foot phobic to any extent, like myself, this match might have you closing an eye, maybe an eye and a half, looking away at points.
Yeah, it's pretty disgusting.
It's really gross.
Lawler then tells the crowd he's going to make them kiss his feet as well.
Mm-hmm.
All, what was it, 1,600 of them?
16,000.
16,000, not 1,600.
Yes.
16,000 people?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Line up.
Mm-hmm.
Step right up. Kiss a foot. Tell your friends.
So the match gets going and Hart is hammering away. So the King runs away to the outside, only to be run into a guardrail. Back in the ring, Bret continues the attack with Lawler escaping out to the floor again. But the King yanks the Hitman into the steel steps before tossing him into the guardrail as well to take control.
And Vince McMahon and Doc hint at Hakushi and Shinjin. Just put it out there.
They might run down.
Mm-hmm. They've been his henchmen for a while now.
They've teased it. And I was like, well, any excuse to see Hakushi sounds nice.
Lawler drags Hart back into the ring and hits 3 pile drivers, taking time between each one to yell at the crowd before finally making a cover for a 2 count.
I mean, 3 pile drivers. Bret's coming in hot, obviously. He's been dealing with this asshole for so long.
Bret's head is smashed into a turnbuckle, and then the crowd really starts yelling, "Burger King," which distracts the ref. But an eye gouge allows Lawler to toss the Hitman out to the floor.
Why
you guys pop?
does a Burger King chant distract a ref?
I'm not sure.
Who knows?
Who knows? If anything,
Maybe he's stoned or hungry or both.
I shit my pants on the 3rd pile driver there. I was like, oh my god, holy crap.
Right.
We're really doing this.
The King then takes his boot off, and you see his dirty sock with a toe poking out.
It's disgusting and perfect. The camera catches it. It looks like somebody got their foot ran over by a tank and then they wrapped it up with gauze. It's just pretty foul.
Vince is selling that the smell is horrendous.
We know Vince loves disgusting stuff. This was probably his idea in the first place.
If it would have been, done in this day, they probably would have added some sort of digital, Charlie Brown stink squiggly lines coming up from it or something.
Mm-hmm.
Lawler uses the loose boot across the face of Hart for a near fall. Starts choking Bret before trying to just stick his dirty sock in the face of the Hitman, only for him to block, trip the King up, and hit a headbutt to the gut.
What? In the gut?
Hart delivers several elbows across the head, but Lawler counters with another boot shot to the face. The King then puts his boot back on before hitting a fist drop from the middle rope for a 2 count, followed by trying to ram Bret's legs into the ring post, but the Hitman pulls Lawler face first into the post.
Posted. Now he doesn't have to smell his own foot.
True.
All of a sudden, Kushi and Shinja run down to ringside, distracting Hart from attacking the King, allowing Lawler to grab Bret from behind.
Oh no!
Akushi winds up for a punch, but the Hitman avoids, causing the King to take the blow. sending Akushi running to the back.
All the way to Japan.
Hart then rolls Lawler into the ring to hit a shot to the gut, a Russian leg sweep, backbreaker, and a second rope elbow drop, before locking on the sharpshooter for the submission and the win. Post-match, the Hitman would continue with the sharpshooter, almost getting disqualified for holding it on too long.
I mean, great. It's good stuff.
That's right. That's how pissed he is.
He should be.
Push
This guy's
it to
been
the limit.
fucking with his family for legitimately maybe a year and a half at this
Everybody
point.
talks about my mama's teeth.
Because didn't he start with Bret Hart and then Backlund got involved and then back to Hart? Like, it seems like it's been
Pretty
going
much.
on. Something like that.
Well, Lawler had to leave for a little while. They were in the middle of their feud, and then Lawler had to leave for a little while.
And that's when Backlund showed up.
Yeah, and then they moved away from it, and then they just kind of come back to
Because
it.
I mean, it feels like it's been like fucking 3 years at this point, but not in a I'm tired of it way. Like it's Lawler and Bret Hart. These guys are both very strong at very different things.
Hart would then take his boot off, getting it ready as the King would have to kiss his foot.
No, please no.
Bret would deliver a headbutt to keep Lawler from leaving, which brings Akushi and Shinja running back down to the ring.
Oh, I guess he caught a red eye from Japan.
The King would attack from behind, holding the Hitman from behind once again, with Akushi going for a springboard shoulder tackle, only for Hart to avoid, causing Lawler to take the blow again.
I mean, we really gotta just bury him. Gotta bury the King.
Bret follows with a clothesline to knock Akushi out of the ring, and then he puts his foot in the King's mouth.
Gross.
He legitimately is like standing up and Lawler's on his back and he's just jamming his toes into his mouth and his toes are legitimately in his mouth and it's a close-up and it's really fucking gross.
Yep.
It's so fucking gross.
That is possibly my nightmare.
Yeah, I mean, I like I said,
I
had to do a warning because I was just like, oh no.
I'm not disgusted or grossed out or anything like that by much, but yeah, the idea of somebody's foot being in my mouth is not
Yeah. Not to shame anybody, but I have the opposite of a foot fetish. I don't want to rub your feet, and I definitely don't want anything beyond that involving feet.
Well, if that's your nightmare, then this next part was even worse, because the Hitman would then take Lawler's boot and sock off and stick it in the King's own mouth.
Ugh. Staph
sending
infection.
Jerry gagging and dry heaving to the back.
I mean, he didn't wash that foot for a couple months in preparation of this match.
I want to vomit.
So we get another video package where the WWF supports the Special Olympics.
That's right.
It's so cute. I love it when they do these packages.
And then we get video highlights of Bret Hart winning the 93 King of the Ring and Owen Hart winning the King of the Ring 94.
Bret first, Owen second.
So this
But now-
King of the Ring is officially heartless.
Oh,
I mean, we've had a Bret Hart match, but we won't have a Hart winning. Or
It's
will we?
pretty heartless, and I still hope that you have some things to say about why this all happened.
Yeah, we might.
Yeah, I mean, I just need to know. I didn't look it up because I was like, Matt's got to know, and I need to know.
So we go to our 8th match. Mabel with Mo versus Savio Vega with Razor Ramon in the King of the Ring finals. So they give us a shot of the Rocky Balboa statue outside the venue, comparing Savio to him as this is his 4th match of the evening.
Dang.
He's a survivor,
Yeah.
guys.
Fun fact, I almost brought, instead of the Gold Royale, I almost brought either a Rocky or a Balboa drink.
Oh,
But
I was going to say turtle soup. I don't want to
I was not able to obtain any absinthe.
Oh. I know a guy.
Is he a little green fairy?
No. I actually know a guy that like has a huge collection of absinthe, and it's weird. And I remember drinking it once over at his house playing board games, and then being at home and like just like waking up in the middle of the night and like just like floating to the bathroom.
Did you feel like a baby floating on a cloud?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, maybe not as giggly, but like more of like wide-eyed and like I don't know if I'm dreaming or not.
We're all a dream a baby's having.
So Mabel uses his power early on to just toss off Vega, but a mischarge in the corner allows Savio to hammer away with right hands, chops, and a 10 count of mounted punches.
Get it, Savio.
Vega with an Irish whip that is reversed, but ducks a clothesline attempt from Mabel. But the big man is still able to hit a body slam, only to miss an elbow drop, followed by Savio clotheslining Mabel out to the floor.
Dang.
It was a slow mo.
No, Mo's on the outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Mabel drags Vega out to the floor and tries to slam his head into the steel steps, but Savio blocks and reverses. Back in the ring, Mabel applies a bear hug.
Worst bear hug ever.
Longest bear hug ever.
Both of those things.
Lasts
Forever.
I like legitimately have like a pause in my notes where I just wrote the word yeesh.
No, I remember fast forwarding through this part, like hitting the 10 or 20 seconds thing, and they were still in a bear hug. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
I mean, a bear hug looks bad unless it's a really big guy doing it to a smaller guy.
But in this case, it was a big guy doing it to a smaller guy because it was a 600 and something pound dude.
The guy's too big.
Pounds.
You need like Atom Bomb or Crush or somebody doing
Mabel, not Yokozuna. This is a 500-pound dude and a 250-pound guy.
Vega starts firing up with no help from the crowd. So the big man throws Savio to the turnbuckle before locking on another bear hug.
Second worst bear hug ever.
Vega claps the ears to escape, so Mabel sends Savio to the ropes and hits a jumping shoulder tackle, followed by a chin lock. Once Vega makes it back to his feet, Mabel just splashes him in the corner as the crowd begins chanting, EC-Dub! EC-Dub!
Fucking
EC-Dub!
Like
some sort of excitement.
Right before that, Doc Hendricks says that Razor's trying to get the crowd into it. I mean, they're into it. He's like, I don't want to get a tongue lashing, but he's like, Razor's trying to help, is what he said. He's like, oh wait, no, they like this. I promise. And then right after he says that, they start chanting ECW.
Mabel goes for another corner splash attempt, only for Savio to move and roll up the big man for a 2 count. Vega then hits a running spin kick for
on the
a near
button.
fall.
Is this his best spin kick of the night? Probably.
He then goes for a crossbody, only to be caught and power slammed down by Mabel. The big man would then hit a running splash for the pin and the win. All hail King Mabel!
I will not. I absolutely will not.
Bend the knee.
Post-match, Mabel and Mo go after Razor, but he fights back with right hands until the big man gets Ramon in the ribs, delivering a body slam and an elbow drop. Mo is then holding Razor's legs for Mabel to hit a second rope elbow drop. All of a sudden, 1, 2, 3 Kid comes running down to try and save Ramon, but men on a mission just beat him down as well. They set up for a splash on the Kid, but officials finally run down to get in the way to stop them.
I mean, it would kill the Kid.
Would have.
He's like fucking, 180, soaking wet.
Would have Rice
So I'm like,
the shit out of him.
Is Razor IC right now?
No, Double J is.
Double J is.
No.
So it's like, oh, we're setting up Mabel Razor. Poor Razor.
I think it's... We'll talk about it here in a second.
Okay, cool. Because I got, like I said, I have plenty of questions.
Got questions.
So we go to Todd Pettengill. He's on the stage with the crown and throne, and Mo just kicks him off, saying he will handle this.
Tells the crowd to shut up.
That's right.
Mabel sits on the throne while Mo grabs the cape to drape across his shoulders. Mabel is then given a sword instead of a scepter. So I thought that was kind of cool. I mean,
Yeah.
a scepter would look tiny Mabel's hands. So.
Yeah, and obviously he's a heel, so I could give him a sword. I mean, obviously Owen was as well. But people love to hate Owen. People don't like booing Mabel. There's a difference between like enjoying booing somebody and like it's a different
kind. They enjoy booing him, or if they enjoy booing him, it's because he's not somebody else.
Yeah,
you're not Owen. You're not Bret.
Yeah,
Boo.
I mean, Owen. Like even when you do hate him, you hate him for the right reasons. They don't hate Mo for the right reasons.
Yeah,
Mabel.
Mo starts reading off of a scroll, while Phillies begins to show its brotherly love, throwing drinks at Mabel.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, yeah. This looks like
popped in the face with one.
An '80s JCP show with trash.
Mo is reading this scroll very slowly, with even Vince getting bored, saying, "Let's get this over with."
You booked it, sir.
Mo ends with, "Long live King Mabel."
I mean, we want him to live a happy and healthy life, but maybe not in the WWF.
Mo then puts the crown on Mabel's head when Razor, Savio, and 1-2-3 Kid would show up to retaliate, but officials would hold them back.
When they put the crown on his head, Vince says, "Who would have thought?" And I was like, "What do you mean? You dummy. You thought this was a good idea."
Yep.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought? You son of a bitch.
Vincent sends it to the back where we see Lawler brushing his teeth and gargling Listerine.
It's pretty gross. Mm-hmm. He does a very good job of playing sick.
Then we get an interview with Sycho Sid, Tatanka, and Ted DiBiase with Stephanie Wyon.
God, she is really the worst.
She seems more like she should be working for Nickelodeon and not at WWF, but what's the big difference? We just had a Smell My Feet match.
Yep. We did. Basically, smell my feet, suck my toe match.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Sid says he dropped Diesel, crushing his right elbow with a powerbomb.
Crush.
We see video of it from In Your House.
Crush.
Tatanka then talks about his rivalry with Bam Bam and Money, while $1 Million Man says that the champagne is on ice, and so will their opponents.
I mean, these Sid promos are obviously the best thing Sid ever did, right?
Pretty close.
I love his promos. They're like kind of the polar opposite of the Warrior, but in the same vein of like intensity. But like they're more calculated. Yeah, they're more seething and less like gibberish, but the same amount of like energy where you're just like, oh my god.
Pettengill is then with Big Daddy Cool and Bigelow in their locker room, and Diesel says he's not 100%, but he's ready to go, and calls Tatanka Pocahontas.
Ooh.
Can he paint with all the colors of the wind?
Hope so. Bam Bam says they have confidence and are going to set this place on fire.
Yeah, they're 220%.
And when Bam Bam said this line about fire, I was just like, oh, okay, cool, that's a fun line. Not realizing that Bam Bam had, like, added fire to his gimmick, basically.
He's face now, so we gotta give him something special.
I guess, did he not wear the, like, fire, like, gear before
This is the first time we're going to see it.
Okay. Because I remember the fire gear, but I guess we've seen him a handful of times over the years. Unfortunately, not as much as we'd probably like. But yeah, I always, in my mind, Bam Bam is with the fire gear.
So our 9th match, Sycho Sid and Tatanka with the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase versus Bam Bam Bigelow and Diesel.
Big Daddy Cool, the beast from the east.
And like I was just mentioning, Bigelow has some gauntlets that shoot off fireballs. And his jacket has a collar that is made to look like fire.
Yeah. He's got, flame at the ring or is it at the ring or was it on his entrance that
I think it was on
explodes behind him?
It's not. They didn't
because Diesel had the sparklers behind him.
Yeah. Bam Bam looks like a mid-tier villain from Pirates of Darkwater. Anybody remember that cartoon?
Nope.
No.
It's bad 90s cartoon about pirates. And
I was actually waiting for
dark
Bam
water.
Bam to set the ring on fire, because when he shoots his little fireballs off, one of them goes up, the other one shoots off towards the ground because his hand comes down already, because I think he thought it already shot off.
Yeah, he didn't go to Ricky Steamboat's school for spitting fire.
No, he didn't. He went more to, I mean, we bounced back to him before, but the fireball guy that shot the fireball into the ring during the match, what the hell was that?
Jim Cornette did it to Jimmy
Like a
Garvin
cheeky
in the
something.
80s. That's the one that I remember the most, is the Jim Cornette and Garvin one. But there's been other fireballs. I believe Hulk took a fireball at one point.
Yeah.
We've seen a couple fireballs.
Yeah, it's like the weird fire
an old
paper thing.
Sheik or something had thrown one into the ring. I could be
Oh,
wrong.
yeah, you could be right. Like
There was one during that weird
maybe like a Tiger Jeet thing.
Halloween horror match or whatever one there with the electric chair.
Oh, well, that was the one where the thing actually caught fire, and Muda does the greatest thing on that whole pay-per-view, where he does the mist, which he was probably going to use at a different spot, but he uses the mist to put out the impromptu fire. Because, like, the thing caught fire because they didn't know what they were doing. It wasn't rigged up very well, so, like, something next to it, there was, like, an electrical issue, and it caught fire, and Muda just spits his mist on it, like, not scripted at all, and it's beautiful. Beautiful moment.
So this match gets going as Sid attacks Big Daddy Cool as he hits the ring, but the faces clear it immediately. Once it settles down, Diesel starts it off with a clothesline on Tatanka, but as he backs away, Psycho Sid kicks Big Daddy Cool's elbow from the apron and drives it into the turnbuckle.
Oh, no.
Posted.
Tatanka keeps working on the elbow with chops, followed by a boot to the face, and Sid stretches the ligaments on the ropes before going for a leg drop, which Diesel avoids in time. Bam Bam comes in with a clothesline before delivering a back elbow and a drop kick to send Tatanka out of the ring. Bigelow hits a DDT on Psycho Sid, heading up top, connecting with a flying headbutt, making the cover, only for the ref to be distracted by the $1 Million Man.
I know, a DDT from Bam Bam and the falling headbutt. I mean, we're Bam Bam fans.
Bam Bam starts worrying too much about DiBiase, allowing Sid to attack from behind and hitting a choke slam off of the ropes.
911. I mean, come on, guys, we're in Philly.
Tatanka keeps it up with kicks to the back and a belly-to-belly suplex before Psycho Sid comes back with more kicks. Bigelow tries to fight back, but a boot to the face from Sid knocks him out of the ring. Psycho Sid then goes to drag Bam Bam back in, only be tripped up, but as Bigelow gets on the apron, Tatanka yanks him back down to the floor. Sid rolls out to the floor to deliver another boot to the face before getting back into the ring to apply a chinlock.
I know, Bam Bam, I'm like, he is selling too much for the big boy that he is. I hate it. I hate to see it.
Bam Bam then uses his momentum to slowly make his way to the corner to tag in Diesel.
We could call it a hot tag, but we probably won't.
I'm not going to.
It was a slow tag.
Big Daddy Cool comes in fired up, hitting a running clothesline on Psycho Sid, followed by a power slam and an elbow drop with his hurt elbow. So he doubles over in pain.
Stupid Kevin Diesel. Oz, Vinny.
Bigelow and Tatanka both tag in with a Native American hitting a running crossbody and applying a chinlock. Bam Bam tosses Tatanka off to the ropes, but he telegraphs a back body drop, allowing the Native American to hit a jumping DDT for a 2 count.
And was it this show that, I guess this show, Diesel was selling his elbow?
Yes.
And the last show, so it's been
No, it's just a show.
just a show, okay.
Yep.
So I get it.
He's got an extra big elbow pad on.
Maybe he can,
That elbow's hurt. He's got this huge pad, but he's not protecting his other elbow at all.
maybe, I mean, I guess he can't steal it, but it's like, maybe he got surgery and there's a plate in there. Like one. Guts and gory Lex Luger.
Tatanka goes back to stomping away on Bigelow, who begins to no-sell everything, where they both start running the ropes for them to both hit clotheslines for the double KO. Tatanka's up first, and he goes back to the chin lock. Only for Bam Bam to break free and hit a senton splash and an enziguri to the Native American before making his way to the corner for the hot tag. Diesel's hitting forearms, followed by a sidewalk slam on Tatanka, sends him to the ropes only to miss a clothesline, allowing the Native American to try for an Okada roll, to no success, as Big Daddy Cool just holds onto the ropes. Diesel then charges in with a running boot to the face, followed by a jackknife powerbomb, but only for two, as he pulls Tatanka up off the mat.
Oh no.
He's pissed.
Big Daddy Cool then points at Sid, but Psycho Sid just says, "No thanks," and he walks out on his partner.
You're going to leave Tatanka like that? I mean, most of us would at this point, too.
Diesel then hits an elbow drop on Tatanka for the pin and the win.
Magically healed elbow.
Post-match, Big Daddy Cool and Bam Bam celebrate in the ring as Pyro goes off, while Vince says his goodbyes before the show fades to black.
Right before it goes to black, Doc Hendricks just says, "Wow!" And you don't believe any of those three letters coming out of his mouth. But he does it, and I thought it was very funny.
So I have a couple fun notes here for us.
Bring it on. I need these notes.
So this first one was cut off of the network version of this show. And I believe it's probably because it was Barry Dudinsky merchandise shilling. They probably cut it because they don't want to put the phone number, blah, blah, blah. But when Shawn Michaels comes out to the ring, because I don't know if you remember, he was already in the ring for the match.
Oh, yeah.
They don't ever show him walking out. But he walks over to where the crown is, and he tries it on.
Oh, what a tease.
And it's massively too big.
Oh, wow. Just selling it.
So I wonder if watching that live would have set off a few alarms of what was about to happen on this show.
Yeah. You know what should have happened? A lot of different stuff.
A lot of different stuff. So second fun note.
Interesting
Interesting tidbit.
Yeah.
This is the only King of the Ring that the Heartbreak Kid and the Undertaker ever compete in.
And neither of them are used well.
Yeah.
I mean, they do a great job. They're both mostly always deliver.
So, gentlemen, I ask you, what are your overall thoughts of King of the Ring 95?
How frustrating is it for Savio Vega, Mabel, and Roadie to be guys that are doing well when Razor is on the outside, when Jeff Jarrett is on the outside, when Owen Hart is on the telephone, when Shawn Michaels
It's a count out, or
Here,
not
let me
count
just-
out,
let me throw my-
time limit draw.
What I have written down here.
It's not a hard show to watch, I'll say that.
This is a very bad show.
Mm-hmm.
And lots of problems
Mm-hmm.
are the booking.
Yeah,
of
but
this show.
that's why my question is somebody hurt? Is everybody hurt?
Here's the thing. What Vince was going for on this show,
It was
he
new
was
stars?
trying to make new stars.
You didn't pick the right guys,
Mabel and Savio Vega
not stars.
ain't it.
Nope.
No.
Let me list some names. You've mentioned quite a few of them already.
Yes.
Luger, Owen, Bulldog, Razor, Jarrett, Michaels, Undertaker, and Yokozuna.
And even Bob Sparkplug Holly, who has one of the best showings in this show.
1, 2, 3.
3. Yeah, 1, 2, 3 Kid. How great would it be for 1, 2, 3 Kid to go deep?
But any of those other names that we've listed, put them in a tournament, and the excitement level for this is through the roof.
Yeah, I mean it's called King of the Ring. It's not called New Guy We Barely Know of the Ring.
When I watched this initially, there was an early match where I was like, oh, it's this guy versus this guy. And I was wrong. It was Roadie and Vega or whatever. I was like, oh, it's going to be Jarrett and Razor or whatever. Whatever the match was, it was early on the show. And I was like, they were coming out and I wrote the match down in my notes. And I was like, oh, and then I was like, oh no, pause, scratch, reverse. And then
Yeah.
my heart just sunk into my fucking stinky foot.
Here's you could have even instead of putting Bam Bam in this horrible main event,
Bam Bam,
where he's the only one doing anything.
Bam Bam over Mabel all day forever.
You could have pushed Bam Bam in this tournament.
It would have been great.
Yeah, give him a fiery crown and cape
Exactly.
and whatnot.
He hasn't done the cartwheel in a long time. If he does the cartwheel
Instead of
in
a
the last
sword,
match into
give him
a
like
pin,
a
So-
flamethrower.
How technically the booking for Mabel makes sense. Follow along with me here.
I'm listening.
He beats Undertaker.
Yep.
He beats up 3 guys
Yep.
in the final, like after the match, but he beats up 3 guys.
They make him look strong.
that are names.
New monster.
Maybe if he had more than the bear hug. Maybe if it was Bam Bam.
They make him look like a monster. So I get it. What they were going for is the correct way to build that. But Mabel is not. Like, no one is ever going to care enough about Mabel, even if it's not Savio Vega. Say Mabel and Shawn Michaels is the final.
Yeah.
Put Shawn Michaels on the other side of the bracket.
Shawn Michaels is going to do great against Mabel.
If Mabel beats Shawn Michaels,
It's believable. He weighs 5 Shawn Michaels.
I mean, it might be believable, but
No, it pushes him over the top to make him that top heel that they want him to be. Because
Exactly.
he beats somebody big.
Him
instead of
beating
beating
Savio
the new
Vega
guy.
means absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He beat the
I mean,
new guy
they
who
did the
is Razor's
Undertaker
new
thing.
1, 2, 3 kid.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the reason they had Undertaker lose, because it was putting
Pushing
Mabel
Mabel.
over someone that is a big name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like years later when, Jericho wins the belt after beating Austin and The Rock in the same
It
night.
pushes Jericho up that
Yeah,
one more
he
level.
instantly becomes top tier because
He's
he just
still,
beat the 2 big guys.
He's still milking it.
Yeah.
Because he's
So-
not those guys.
So their thought process of what they had isn't bad.
They just didn't have the talent or the personality
Yeah.
in the guy.
Exactly.
They
Like,
tried
if
with
they
way
could
too
have
many
done
new
it with
people.
Sid, they could have done it with Bam Bam.
Yeah, we
Sid
didn't-
could have
I
torn
mean,
through
Sid was
people.
already at the top of the card. So
He
he
was.
didn't need it.
Yeah.
He definitely was.
We didn't necessarily need that whatever tag team match. in the
No,
main
but it was
event at
nice.
all.
It was nice because it was something after. I
mean,
needed to
it
wash
lit-
the taste out of my mouth.
Okay, so another interesting thing that I've heard. So Bam Bam was starting to get over. And
Since 92,
the Click
91,
had
89.
Bam Bam put into this match so Diesel could steal some of the pop that he was
Heat.
getting. The
Yeah.
heat that he was getting.
Yeah, take some of the flowers.
Yeah. So that's the reason why this tag match was made, because Bam Bam was heating up, but he's never going to really amount to anything.
Bam Bam
I mean,
never becomes Vader, but Bam Bam could have been the face version of Vader at some point. Absolutely. He's a very likable guy.
Definitely.
He's not as scary or smelly as Vader, but he's big and can move just as good, or he moved better than Vader earlier in his career when Vader was still. Because, yeah, when I think of Vader, the next person I think of is Bam Bam. Because they're these
And his wrestling
huge
gear
gu-
probably smelled fresher.
huge guys, and Bam Bam never quite got, like, I mean, deserve is a weird word to use, but, like,
No, I mean,
never got quite what, like, he should
Bam Bam
have.
being around as long as he's been. Yeah, I mean, we just finished WrestleMania 11.
Yeah.
He's been around since 3? Was that when we first saw him?
I think so. something
Yeah,
like
I mean,
that.
he was, like, I remember maybe the first time seeing him is probably, like, 88, 89, but he goes away. He kind of does a steamboat thing where he's gone and back.
He goes
gone
off
back.
to Japan,
Yeah.
tags with Vader for a long time, comes back and seems to be, and he's getting over in WWF, and we'll see
And
him
Vader's
someplace else
over
here soon.
on the other side.
Good. Where's the smart marks at? All right. Fuck you.
I think it's time we smark it up. So give me some of your best moments of this show.
I mean, I think that the Bret Hart Jerry Lawler thing is done really well, even though we've seen them for so long. Like, this feels like it might be the end of it, and it's a pretty good end to it, where Bret finally got over on him, and he got over him in a disgusting way that only Vince would have thought up. Only Vince and Jerry Lawler would have thought up.
I mentioned it earlier, the Doc Hendricks thing with the Spanish commentator like translating for him.
Yeah, it was very funny. It was the closest
It
to
was,
Bobby he's
it
ever
was
going to
so
get.
bizarre and like out of place. if he had just made those comments, it wouldn't have been out of place. But like having the Spanish commentator actually like interviewing and he's translating,
It was funny.
it was super bizarre. But it was probably one of my favorite. It was one of my favorite things.
It's from the Book of Heenan.
Yeah. I'm gonna actually say the Shawn Michaels match was actually a really good match.
Yeah.
And
that's what I was looking back at just
I almost
now.
feel like it made Kama look good.
Kama would have maybe
And
better than
Why?
Savio.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, obviously we know Kama isn't a gimmick for
Very
a
long.
whole lot longer.
Yeah.
Because he moves on to something else. But
Goes Shanga, Kama, Godfather?
But I'm like, could they have not done more with Kama? I mean, I know he gets a match with Undertaker, or he's having matches with Undertaker.
Yeah.
I guess I should say.
But, like,
I think
Kama's
they continue to be dark matches on
Kama's
pay-per-views.
bigger and more agile than Vega.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's not that much he's not leaps and bounds better of a wrestler, but he is definitely a better wrestler.
I mean, I think you said it perfectly a while ago when you were like, Savio Vega came out with Razor Ramon, Roadie came out with Double J Jeff Jarrett, and you wrote down the match the opposite way.
Bullshit.
And you went, wait, what? I think that's literally that's
the whole show. Yeah.
It's this show. It's like, why is it these guys and not those guys?
Also, like, if Jeff Jarrett steals a win from a heel perspective, where Roadie gets in the way and he pins Razor, and then goes to the end, and Jeff Jarrett versus even Mabel, but then Razor comes in and fucks it up for him, and Mabel wins. I guess that would be heel versus heel. So that wouldn't work. But like, you know what I mean? Like the idea that like him stealing the win from Razor, getting through to the end, and then Razor and Vega screwing up Jeff Jarrett's King of the Ring match is way better than what we
Technically,
got.
Razor had hurt ribs. Kayfabe hurt ribs.
Can't believe Razor's not here.
What if he had done the 4 matches in one night with hurt ribs?
Yeah.
And then beaten Mabel.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't know if Razor really needs the King of the Ring thing to even.
But it's still better.
Does it push him up another level at that point?
Yeah. The other issue is
It should, but then at the same time, I mean, Owen didn't really get pushed as high as he should have.
Literally, the only King of the Ring that I remember that really pushes someone to superstardom, we'll see next year.
Yeah.
The other thing I was thinking was like maybe if they pulled the trigger too fast on some of these guys, like Diesel,
maybe Booker.
Yeah.
Maybe Booker
Diesel-
got over a little bit more.
Diesel,
I
Shawn,
mean, Triple H did.
and Razor are all faces. If not all three of these guys were faces, then you could put one in there and it would make a lot more sense. But they're all faces right now, and they shouldn't all three be faces right now. I don't think, personally. I think that one of those three guys should be a heel at this moment, and they should be like in here over some of the other guys they chose. But like those three guys all being, working together in the last couple of years and all being faces at the same point in time, it's like, maybe spread it out a little more. Because you don't have other good heels to match that. Like we saw Mabel do a bear hug for 8 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was a problem because it was a bad bear hug.
Well, I'd say we've kind of blended our best moments and most disappointing because there's not a whole lot.
We really have, yeah. I don't think it's a hard show to watch, that being said. Because it's interesting in a bizarre way where it's like, this is what we chose to do.
It's a show where I mean, granted, I watched it years ago too, so I knew the end result, but
yeah, I knew Mabel
watching it
was
this
winning.
time still, I had to stop myself from hitting the fast forward button several times because there's just, you say it's not a hard show to watch, but it's not an easy show to watch either just because it's lots of boring parts.
Yeah, I think that
stuff.
it's pretty short, and the matches are kind of short.
It's one of those that I wish would have been cut in like the New Japan style, where it was just the matches, nothing else.
It's a show that
Cut,
needs
dry,
Bret
But the
Hart.
thing is, most of the best moments are the stuff that's not
True, very true.
That's not the matches. That's
Yeah.
That's the
thing.
stuff that like makes it an easier show to watch because the matches aren't particularly long.
I mean,
but the other stuff is like
I'm
done
happy
with
they
that high
at least
quality.
had the guts to try. Had the guts, but
here's
had
the thing.
no glory because of it.
Vince tried something in trying to create new stars.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't work, but I mean, literally, it's
because he took away all of his established stars,
and we're
try.
yelling at the screen for them to create new stars instead of fucking bringing back Goldberg.
Yeah.
For the 17th million
also,
time.
when they make a joke about where the big boys play, where like Shawn Michaels makes a like wink at the camera, and then Mabel wins, and it's like the big boy that is less agile in the ring than Hulk Hogan.
But his words were, "Just because you're big doesn't mean you're good."
I would take that challenge. That Mabel is less agile than Hulk Hogan. I think Mabel is.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I guess Hogan does the same things and he has it down pat. And Mabel does not have that. He definitely doesn't have the confidence.
Mabel does a spinning wheel kick. He will take a clothesline over the ropes to the floor.
Mm-hmm. It's true. That's true.
Just saying.
It's true.
Just saying.
You're true. But Hogan would give a better bear hug.
Okay, we're just going to continue to bitch about this show. So let's just move on to best performer of the night. We gotta.
I don't know. Sid promo, Jerry Lawler, Bret Hart. They're always great.
Shawn promo.
1, 2, 3
Doc
kids.
little
fun
translation.
fun running before getting beat down. Honestly, mine's going to Spark Plug Holly.
Actually, I think Spark Plug might be mine too.
Spark Plug he has like 10 plus like roll-ups in that match, and he's very explosive and very fun to watch, and it's a shame that he couldn't have put on.
I'm giving mine to Kama, because I actually enjoyed that match, even if it wasn't.
I'm going to give mine to the Hardy Boys, because they did a great job of opening those doors.
They opened that door like champions.
They did.
Right.
I appreciate your comment.
Extremely good job.
Yeah, I'm a Spark Plug boy this day in 95.
How about most surprising?
Funny that 1, 2, 3 came out and then just got like thrown across the.
Just got beat down.
Yeah.
Cool. He's returning. Oh, he's nope.
Yeah. A guy that people love, like kind of the perfect underdog, and he's been the perfect underdog for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
Quote unquote surprising is that nobody watched this when it was happening and thought that this was the show they were going to get and that Mabel was going to win, but we all know in hindsight. Because there's been this show's a big joke.
Going in, everyone saw the 8 people and was like, "Oh, Shawn Michaels is winning this."
Yeah.
And then Shawn Michaels is eliminated in the first round. Everyone's like, "What the fuck's going on?"
In a match that becomes a double
that's the most surprising. If you were watching this then,
yeah. But it's famous for like King Mabel is just as
King Taker.
Woo! Yeah. King Mabel is just as synonymous with tongue-in-cheek jokes as Mabel was the third guy. Like it's the same joke.
Yeah.
And Mabel was the butt of both of those jokes. The quality of foot makeup.
Is this the worst WWF show we've ever watched?
I don't know. It's hard to say. I feel like this one was not hard to watch, but it was kind of like staring at a train wreck, where it's like, oh, I feel bad for like.
It's like staring at a train wreck, but it's easy to turn away from.
Yeah. I think for me, because I had not seen the show before, but was aware of it, I was intrigued by the choices they made in a morbid way.
It's surprising that they put all their hopes and dreams in Savio Vega, who is brand new. I mean, yeah, they were trying to make new stars, but they're using somebody who they've had used as what the hell was he? Quang?
Yeah. He's not the guy. Like, why isn't Hakushi on here? King Hakushi, and then him losing and then going away forever would have been fine.
Been a slap in the face in WCW right there, because King Hakushi.
Yeah, King Hakushi would be great.
Yeah.
Hakushi could easily whip around all these guys and believably beat them because he has a similar mystique to The Undertaker, but in a more athletic way.
In a Big Trouble in Little China, lightning bolt guy appearing on a street corner out of nowhere effect.
Yes, for sure. He seems like the last bodyguard to the big boss before the big boss turns into like an actual monster due to magic.
Yes.
It's good. Rest in peace, Hakushi. I'm sure. I hope he's still alive and happy and healthy. But I know he's basically done here.
Now I gotta look.
He's got to be basically done here.
Hakushi, are you still around? Yeah, he's 55.
55. He's a young man.
In Tokushima, Japan. Well, that's where he was born.
Well, yeah, he's a young man with one of the best looks we've seen in all of 178 episodes we've done. A number I just pulled out of my ass that is incorrect.
So did they actually draw those tattoos on him?
I don't.
Or is that an actual tattoo?
See, look at the commit to the bit.
Okay, yeah, because there's a picture of him with no tattoos.
Oh, yeah.
Where he's much older.
Commit to the bit. He still looks great there.
Yeah, he does.
We're pro Hakushi here.
Very much so.
And now for a look back even further into the history of wrestling.
The dusty finish.
Tatsumi Fujinami had never lost the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, but had relinquished it to participate in a tournament at the very first Tokyo Dome show in 1989. During that show, Tatsumi had suffered a severe back injury that had kept him out until just a few months prior. But once he returned, he was on a warpath towards the belt. Riki Choshu had been the current champion for 4 months when Tatsumi Fujinami would get a late Christmas present at King of Kings on December 26, 1990, in Hamamatsu, Japan. Neither legend would have an early advantage, trading blows back and forth until Choshu would hit a knee to the gut, a vertical suplex, and begin to work the back of Tatsumi. Riki would apply the Scorpion Deathlock, but would release it to continue striking the back. Fujinami would fight back with a dragon screw leg whip before heading to the top rope, only to be press slammed off, allowing Choshu to go back to the Deathlock, which Tatsumi makes the ropes to break the hold. Fujinami would again fire up to hit a drop kick and a pile driver, before going to the top rope, where Riki would meet him there and the two men would fight atop the turnbuckles. Once back on the mat, Tatsumi would lock on a dragon sleeper, but was escaped with a back suplex by Choshu. Fujinami would try an octopus hold, followed by hitting multiple drop kicks, before rolling up Riki with an arm-locked bridging pin to become champion for the third time. Tatsumi Fujinami's reign wouldn't be long, as the man who had injured him would come calling for the belt he thought he deserved.
Bum, bum, bum. So Fujinami had the belt and was like, take it off of me, I want to be in this tournament. It's a big deal.
Because it was the first Tokyo Dome show.
Yeah. So
Gotta be there.
So that means Choshu won the belt in that tournament.
Big Van Vader won the belt there.
And Choshu took it off.
Choshu beat Vader.
Okay.
And now Fujinami.
Okay. I was curious who Fujinami lost to in the tournament.
Vader.
To Vader.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Perfect booking. They nailed it. And Vader probably came over here to do some JCP early WCW stuff while this happened. Maybe.
He brought his
That's just in my head. Who
He
knows?
actually did come over while he was
Okay. Cool. Awesome.
Is that when he had the
yes.
smoking?
The big plastic samurai elephant helmet.
Yeah.
Next week, Hardcore Heaven 1995.
Where
started
could
in
that
Philly?
be?
We're ending.
In
I guess
Philly?
we started today in Philly. Next week we'll be in Philly. Week after that, maybe we'll be in Philly.
We
Yeah.
won't be.
We will not be in Philly. I know. I got the credentials to have the master list.
May have to board a plane for that one.
Ooh. Excited. It's always nice to board a plane.
Music from this week's show is Pride of Achievement by Manhattan Production Company. And Diesel got the pin, so we're going to play his music, Diesel Blues.
Pride of
Jim
Achievement.
Johnston.
Pride of Achievement. It's like an ironic song for this show.
Pride of achievement. It's like, well, it's over.
Yeah.
We did it.
Just
over.
the-
It's a
name of
catalog song that like anyone can go and pick out.
Just the name of it.
Yeah, it's
This
like,
show sucked. Pride of Achievement. We're proud of our achievement here.
We got through it. Shane has
It's the
seen this
King of the
multiple
Ring
times.
song.
Mabel.
Yeah. It's just, I don't want to bring it up. We talked
All
about it.
hail King Mabel.
If you like the show or any of our other ones, and I mean more us talking about it more than the show itself,
I mean, some of these shows we
Sometimes
really don't
shows
like.
suck.
Yeah.
please go out there, rate and review us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or wherever you find your podcasts at. If you have any questions, comments, concerns,
Recipes, food ideas, drink ideas, something from Philly.
or anywhere else, you can send those to us on. You can send us them on email at WrestlingHistoryX@gmail.com, or find us on Twitter at WrestlingHistoX. That's Wrestling HISTOX. We'll talk to you next week.
Slide into them DMs. Laters.
Oh, okay. Diesel.